this tutorial, I'm going to show you a cool way to take a photo, crop it, and desaturate it, which means turning it to black and white, and creating a quote that is covering a part of the face to give a cool visual effect. So here are some samples of that, where we see the black and white face on one side and we see the text on the other side, but we do see some of the face showing through. Here's a few more. So if you get really good at this, there are all kinds of portraits where faces are taken and given treatment, such as this one, where we actually see the text ingrained. So this would be kind of the first step to that. What you will need first is a good photo of yourself. Have your teacher take that of you or another student in the room. Some things that you will need to remember is that for this one, it needs to be a headshot and it needs to be straight on. It should not be a pose or something from the side. Really, we just want your head. It needs to be good. It needs to be clean, and you can take this photo up against the green screen in the classroom. Photos like this aren't going to work very well because it's too hard to show the symmetry and add the text in. So notice that this person is leaning a little bit to the side. This would be great for another style of poster, but not for this particular project. You also want to remember when we open our document the size of your photo. So this photo was taken in landscape, but the actual document is in portrait. So you're going to want to make sure that you make your picture fit. So here I'm going to pull this picture back in again so that you can see how easy it is to cut out the green screen. We want a lot of contrast when we're using the green screen, so just be sure of your lighting and what you are looking at. And then remember, this portrait is really going to be a headshot, so I want this particular picture to be, so I'm going to really center this subject, and I am going to just keep increasing that, and you really, on this particular poster, want the head to take up as much room as possible. This is just an 8.5 by 11 piece of canvas. And you also do want to be careful, though, not to cut off anything that's important. So don't cut off the top of the head. It's okay to cut out some of the bottom of this. Once you get this where you would like, you're just going to hit the Enter key. You're going to go over here, and we have several tools that we can use. One tool is called the pen tool, where you can pen around the shape of the face and turn it. But this picture is so clean that we don't need to do that at all. A green screen will work, or depending on the hair, you might want to use this tool called the Quick Selection tool. So I'm going to show both of these tools so you see the difference. So with the Quick Selection tool, when I'm on my layer, I get this little plus sign, and I'm going to increase the size of this brush, which is right here, and I'm going to increase the size of this. And again, you don't want it too big, but it does, again, depend on the size of your picture and the details of your picture. So over here, once I get this to a size that's pretty good, you want to just kind of run along the side of the head, and you'll notice that it selects a whole bunch once you get to a certain point. It even selected the corner of this sweater. So if you did not want that to be cut out, you can use the Alt key, and I can just push that right back out. I'm holding the Alt key down and moving my mouse to keep that in the picture. So you notice this did a pretty good job of selecting around his head. And again, you can make this brush just a little bit smaller again here, and I can just, if I want to get a little bit more, I can push that out. So once you get that selected, you simply hit the backspace key. Oh, and notice this said that I couldn't do that because I have a smart object. So some of you have seen me show this to you. If it says it's a smart object, you right click and rasterize the layer. That will take care of that. And then also at the same time, make sure you've already unlocked the background. Otherwise, it will not delete this and it'll try to replace it with something else. So now we may hit the backspace on this layer. And you see that it nice and cleanly got rid of that. We're going to deselect. And I'm going to show you the other tool that sometimes works, which is called the Magic Wand tool. The magic wand tool, we simply click, and if the image is really nice and clean, you can see that it's selected all in one swoop. I didn't have to move anything. So on this, we're just going to delete here by clicking the backspace. Make sure you are on the layer that you want to delete from, and this side is on. Now this portrait is ready to what we call desaturate. So your next step would simply be to go up to your image and adjustments, and down about to the bottom it says desaturate. When I click on desaturate, we'll notice that it turns to black and white. One thing we might want to do is something called a few adjustments, just so that we make sure we have enough vibrancy in our background and our black and white photo. So we're going to create a new fill or adjustment layer. It's this little half circle down here at the bottom, and we're going to go to levels. This is going to bring up this little window, which allows me to bring down some of the shadows and bring up anything that I still want that little richness of dark to. And it may be hard for you to notice, but I'm really just enhancing the depth of this image. So I'm getting a little more depth in the skin color and in the, even though it's in black and white, but still maintaining the original picture. So this looks pretty good. We're now going to go back down to our first layer, and we are going to fill that layer with a color. You may do the color you choose. The idea behind this is that the whole thing is black and white. So I am going to choose black. So you may use either your color picker, or mine is already have a black background and white foreground. So I'm just going to flip these. This is something else you may not know that you can do, is I can just flip those colors around, and now as black is in the forefront. And I'm going to get my paint bucket, and I'm just going to fill that back layer. And then we're going to use guides. If you don't see numbers up here around your frame, the way you would want to show that is by going to View, Rulers. So by viewing the rulers, it allows us to appear. You can see that mine is checked, which is what makes mine appear up here. Now, also up here, I have, if I click inside the little ruler, I get this line, and when I pull on it, I get this line called a guide. These guides do not mess up your picture. They are temporary, and they do not save out if you were to print or anything. These would not show up when you print. So I'm going to make a line here, and I'm going to make another line right here, and this is how I can section off an area straight with using a straight line. So it's as if you're using a ruler of sorts. There's a couple other things I can do here. I can tell it to snap to those guides. So right here I have checked for it to snap to the guides, so that when I do draw something, it will snap either to this guide or this guide. So I'm just going to select an area. So I'm going up here. This is called the rectangular marquee tool, and I'm going to click that, and I'm going to select an area starting with this guide. And you notice I also get a couple other guides to show me where I'm selecting, and then it will, when I get close to this blue guide, it'll snap to that one. And so now I see that I can just go straight down, and I have selected exactly half of this portrait. So now we're going to start a new layer. So new layer, and in this layer I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to fill it with black. So now we have a half of the portrait covered. Your next task is to add the text, but we can't add the text directly to this black square. We're going to need to type it out first. One of the things you're going to want to think about is what your text will be. Here we would add a text box, and we are just going to click anywhere on the screen. This text does not need to be in place right away. We're going to type it out first. But in this case, you are going to type text and be pressing the return key to go ahead and try to type all this text on one layer. if you do multiple layers, it's just a little bit more work. I'm going to just type a couple of words here to show you that I would be thinking about also the shape of the face and how much space, because you want your words to flow with the shape of the face. So I'm just going to put some random words. And so as you see my words here, even though they're very small, you can see them kind of taking that shape of the head over here. My next task, after you get your text typed out, this is where you would resize it. Remember, when I have in my text box all of my tools up here. So if we were going to change the font, you would do that here. I'm going to choose kind of a bold font, and I'm going to now bring that size up. And the size that you make your text will be dependent on size and shape of the head. So here I'm going to bring just this up, and you'll notice that this text I can't see right now. So I'm going to turn this text to white just so that I can see it. And again, the color of the text doesn't really matter ultimately. And so I'm going to put that here, and I'm just going to bring this down. And you'll want to try to think of something that will go down the whole length of that face. So I'm going to start this about right here. Now you'll notice that this text isn't going, so you'll have to make some decisions here. It is often easier to do the text down the right side of the face. I'm also going to show you here how to do it down the left side of the face. So notice that this is not really curving the right way. But again, when I'm in my text, I get my text tools up here at the top, and we have, you don't want to space bar this, that's not going to work. So you want to do your what's called the justification up here. So we want to justify it to the left. So you notice how that text just now automatically switched to the other side. So if I'm going to put it on this side, then I would do that. I'm going to put a few more words on here just so you can see how this would look. And the further you go down, the better it works. I'm going to put faster. And again, this is where you want to kind of think about what you're saying. I'm thinking of this on the fly. You'll notice when I put the word all, wasn't quite what I wanted. So we're going to pretend like he's a sports player. So here I have that generally the shape of his face. This is just slightly bigger, so I'm going to bring this size down just a little bit. So you can change the text size up here. So once you do that, then don't forget to bring the opacity back up on your, and then here is where we cut out the letters. So this is a text box, and I know it's a text box because the letter T is here. If I hold the command key, which I believe is the control key on the PC, and I click on the T, you'll notice that it selects all the text with these marching ants. And that might be a little hard to see on the screen, so I'm going to zoom in really big, but there's these little marching ants all around each of these letters. So now we have selected the shape of those letters. We're going to go back down. Don't turn this off, but we're going to go back down to the layer below it. We are going to hit the delete key or the backspace key. Now, at first glance, it looks like it hasn't done anything, but if I turn off this text layer, you can now see that I have cut out the text from the black layer. Here was the text layer. I turned the text layer off, and I actually have cut a hole through, just as an eraser would, through the black layer to expose the photo layer below. So now at this point I can Control D, and I'm going to want to zoom in, because if there's some parts that are dark or and this picture is really pretty good, but if there are some parts in it that are dark that you would like to lighten, you can go back and rub some of those out. So here we would use, the tool that we would use is called the dodge tool. Go over here, and if you don't see the dodge tool along here, it's right above this little pen tool and underneath the little smudge tool. If you don't see that, click and hold and you will find it there. So we're going to click dodge tool. We're going to go up here and we are going to make it a size that will fit what we want to do. So that's a little big for that word the, so I'm going to bring this down. That should work. Maybe even just slightly smaller. And we're going to keep the hardness at 0. We're going to keep the exposure at 100, and we have 3 different things that we can work with is shadows, midtones, and highlights. We're going to start with the shadows, and you'll notice that when I am on this layer, I'm going to be on the face layer, and when I rub here, do you see some of that? It's not erasing exactly, it's just dodging it a little bit to lighten it up. And so any other areas that you might want to do that. So, and again, we don't want to wipe out areas completely, but there might be just a few areas that I want to make sure they show up in the picture. These I'm just single clicking just to kind of so that I can see the eyes. We do want to see some of the detail of the face underneath. So, and I'm going to do that same thing a little bit here along the lips. Now we can also do that same thing. So, you know, if you've gone a little too far and you don't like what you look, you can always step backwards, Control Z and or window and history, and go backward in your history. And it really depends on your picture how much you might have to do this. This layer we're just going to pull to the bottom. I'd like for you to keep this layer in here so that I see that you did it and you did it correctly. We're just pull it to the bottom and keep it turned off. For our last layer, we are going to just add a new layer. We're going to drag that layer to the top, fill it with white. So it looks as if we have covered our entire picture. We're going to use this layer to create a border around the image. To do that, we're going to take this fill and bring it down to 0. Make sure you're not doing the opacity. We want just this fill to be 0, but we still can apply things to it that will show up on our screen. To do that, we're going to double click. We're going to click on Inner Glow. And you'll notice if you click this little preview button here, you can actually see what's going on behind that frame. And so you can see that just made an inner glow. The inner glow is a little bit wide, so I am going to first keep the blend mode normal. We're going to set the opacity to 40 so that it's a little bit see-through. As you can see, we can see through some of that glow. We are going to set the choke size to 100, but this size is a little too big, so we're going to bring this size down to about 44. Depending on the size of your picture and where your text goes is also dependent on where you will want this little stroke. It's going to make a little stroke border all the way around there. And as I'm looking, it is pretty close on his head, so I am going to make mine just, again, a little slightly smaller. I'm going to go ahead and make it 40 just to get that a little bit thinner. And then we're going to go to, on this same panel, we're going to go to the stroke. Make sure the whole bar is selected and that it's check marked. On stroke, our size is going to be 4 less than what I made the last one. And so we made the other one 40, so I am going to make this 36. And you can see again, here's my line that is appearing, my border that's appearing. And we want it to be on the inside, and we want the blend mode to be lighten. We're going to leave the opacity at 100. So that opacity is what allows us to see that and how much it stands out. Once you've done that, click OK. This just gives it a finished poster look. When you're done, make sure you save your project. So if you didn't save it at the beginning, let's do a save as. And you should get a dialog. Make sure it says Photoshop here, and you would call this self-portrait.